If you've ever followed any of my other videos, you know I get flamed in the comments section about how I say certain words. So chill, folks. I'm a Midwestern Wisconsin girl, and we say agriculture proudly. We are the land of cheese and milk. Agriculture, agriculture, agriculture. So this is the official disclaimer that when we talk about China, there will be some mispronunciation. I believe strongly that names matter and pronouncing them correctly matter, and I am trying. So thank you to my Chinese students who have attempted to help me. Welcome to the last video about classical empires. My name is Steph Gerges, or Mrs. Gerges in the classroom, and I am super excited about this final installment in classical empires. Today, we're going to look at Chinese history. As I tell my students, by the end of the year, you will be able to name every single Chinese dynasty. This video will look specifically at 4 of them. You see, China develops isolated from other cultures because of where they are located geographically. The first agricultural civilization developed along the Yellow River, or Huanghe River, which was a crazy, unpredictable, and wild river. It was also nicknamed China's Sorrow. The river actually looks yellow because the silt in the river gets pushed around and makes it look yellow. So the word dynasty, as we jump in, is defined as a sequence of rulers or emperors from the exact same family. Now, the first dynasty we're going to talk about is the Shuang Dynasty that ruled from 1766 to 1122 BCE. They had a monopoly on bronze metallurgy, which made them have a strong military, allowing them to conquer neighboring people and unify them into a grand empire. Much of China's early religious beliefs focused on the venerations of forces of nature and ancestors. It isn't like a unified or codified religious system, but involves spirits and gods. For example, in the Shuang Dynasty, they used something called oracle bones for fortune telling. Questions would be written on bones or tortoise shells. They would then be burnt, and then people would interpret like where it broke, what that actually meant on their question. They also believed in the veneration of ancestors. It's really this belief of protecting a living family by giving ancestors proper respect. They would bury items or make sacrifices at their graves. Still today, there's a strong sense of ancestors' presence and strong family solidarity. Honoring your family is highly important. This is defined by another key Chinese term, filial piety. It is the strict principles of hierarchy, obligation, and obedience. It's even mentioned in Crazy Rich Asians as you watch Rachel Chu have some serious conflict with her boyfriend Nick's mother, Eleanor, and whether Nick should be with Rachel. It's a great film. You should go see it, and it'll help you really understand filial piety. So there's permission. They also believed in the mandate of heaven, that power to rule was granted from heaven. They believed there was this direct connection between the ruler and gods, and there would be signs if the current emperor was unfit to rule. Maybe some peasant rebellions or some great famines would all be signs that it's time to move on. These Chinese religious beliefs all shaped their culture and their society. In fact, the Shang Dynasty ends because the Zhou Dynasty argued they lost the mandate of heaven. So the Zhou Dynasty lasts for a while after that until things fall apart, and we enter a period of time called the Warring States period from 403 to 221 BCE. Similar to India, we have regional decentralized kingdoms during this period of time, and they were fighting. Various philosophers and religious beliefs emerged during this time as a solution to the Warring States period, such as Confucianism, who believed we just need better, educated moral leaders, Taoism, who believed, they don't really care actually, and decentralized rule is fine. Or maybe we should go to legalism with some strict rules, harsh punishments, and with that you can unify anyone. So which philosophy was able to win and kickstart the dynasties once again? Legalism. For a very short period of time. Qin Shi Huangdi reunifies the empire and puts down many peasant rebellions who didn't like his high taxes or harsh forced labor. He had some very clear laws with some very harsh punishments if you were to break them. And this worked. He was a unique guy, if you didn't want to be really on his bad side, because he was mean. He was super interested in immortality and finding the elixir of life. He had this huge mausoleum created for him when he died, and it had 8,000 life-size terracotta warriors in it. And he started building a wall that would later become part of the real Great Wall of China. Well, Qin Shi Huangdi died. Some say it was because he was looking for immortality and he drank an elixir, which was actually mercury. And spoiler, it kills him. His son failed also as a ruler, and with that, the Qin Dynasty was over. Short and legalistic. The empire that follows is the Han Dynasty. Liu Bang, also known as Emperor Gaozu, defeated others for power after the fall of the Qin and establishes the Han Dynasty. He uses a combination of some legalistic philosophy, but Confucianism at its core. One of the best-known emperors later on in the Han Dynasty was Han Wudi. You have to know this guy. He defeats the Xiongnu, or the nomads from the steppes, and expands the empire. He built an enormous bureaucracy and basically expanded the empire to half of the size of modern-day China. He built roads and canals, and they were also involved in trading along the famous Silk Road, which traveled all the way to the Roman Empire. Most important for making a mark on Chinese history is how he established the Confucian education system for training people to work in the government. Check this. Since Confucianism focused on moral, ethical leaders, this made total sense. They created something called the civil service exam, and how people did on the test determined how they would receive government jobs. What a novel idea. The exam was based on Confucian ideals and was made to prevent favoritism in appointments. So people wouldn't just get positions based on who they were, but actually had to have solid moral character. He even created an imperial university, helped train people for this test and prepare men for government service. Wow. It's like something maybe we should have learned from yesterday. And maybe we should actually learn from yesterday. It sounds like this is such a great idea that maybe the United States could learn from. Anyways, the Han Dynasty continues for 400 years, and their fall occurs somewhere around 221 CE, which also coincides with the Pax Romana's end. It is the golden age of Chinese history, and today some 90% of the Chinese population is ethnically Han. They had famous inventions like the wheelbarrow, they focused on paper making, and were most known for their luxurious silk. Silk being the namesake for the Silk Road trading network across Asia to Europe. But all good things must come to an end, and the same was true for the Han, just like every other classical empire during this time. Thanks for tuning in to this final video in our Classical Empire series, and subscribe below if you want more content for the future. And I'll say more enthusiastically than ever that I hope we continue to learn about yesterday, to understand today, and help write a better tomorrow. Thanks for watching.